Hello everyone, today we're going to see a little practice of mobility, connection and integration. We just begin laying down on the floor, connecting with our breathing, letting all of our weight to be dropped to the ground, and we just focus on how our breathing feels inside and how the floor gives us a limit down, so the energy, the elastic power of the breathing expands into our back, into our vertebrae, and when we feel it, we switch the side of our face that is placed on the ground. So with each inhalation, we focus the energy inside and we feel all of our body, and each exhalation, we let the air out and we relax all our body, feeling each part of our structures, of our bones that are placed on the ground, and how the energy and the tension around can relax. Now when we breathe in, we activate our back, thinking in connecting the energy growing to our head, and now we go with our chin to the floor and we feel the little pressure, always keeping control. So when we breathe in, we can go out, and then softly we put one side of our face in the ground and we relax our jaw, and we feel this pressure of the weight of our face, our jaw with the ground, and we always keep breathing and connecting. Now we do the same. We feel how the pressure of our head with our jaw, with our ears there to create space inside. Then we breathe in and we go to the other side of our face. We relax the jaw, we relax the face, we let the weight to be dropped to the ground. Now we go with our forehead to the ground, and then again we go out. We are activating the energy of our back, of our spine, from our legs to our center to our head. And now that we have connected this, we can recover our arms. So we just project our arms a little, opening our shoulders, our elbows, reaching our hands, and we start to create this relation between our center and our hands and our fingers and our head and our feet. So when we breathe in, we activate our back. When we exhale, we relax down. Yes, as slow as you breathe, the deeper the works get. Now we get our elbows closer, and now we support ourselves and we relax our lower back. And now we breathe here, recognizing and moving a little the structure here, what this new support of our elbows and our shoulders gives to our spine, to our neck, to our head, that we are able to turn our head to one side and to the other side, to feel it backwards, to feel it downwards, to feel the weight and how we can move it in a safe and secure way, never rushing, never hurrying, always feeling and breathing. We also recognize each of the supports and how we can also change them. How can I move my shoulders, my elbows, my wrists, my hands, my face, my ears? How is the response that the ground gives me each time I pressure it? And also when I extend one side, how it invites me to turn to one side and to the other side. So now I'm projecting one hand and the energy of one side forward or up and the other down or back, and we create this little spiral. But always we are working with this idea of opposites, pressing, projecting and connecting. This idea of elastic integration and natural energy that unifies our body. So each time we go a little farther as we feel this connection natural, and always recognizing that not any part of our body is blocked. So while I'm here, I can play with my feet, with my foot, with my knee, with my hip, with my spine, with my leg, with my head, how all of my body is always helping me. What are doing each of our arms, what is doing the leg that is downside, what is doing my back, what is doing my abdomen, what is doing my head. All is helping me to move, to investigate, to connect, to integrate. When I feel this elastic tension to appears, these movements, these places where I find the limit for the action, I recognize them and I move it to another place or just breathe there. So all the different possibilities of movement that we have are good if they are connected, integrated. Each time we move, we choose, we change something, we are making our energy, our thoughts, our brain to send energy there to activate. So what we are thinking and choosing all the time is very, very important. These are fundamentally practices of presence. So we have to feel and choose and do and let be done. Always keep feeling how the weight is working, how the ground is supporting us, how our energy is reacting with the ground. Here we're expanding the movement to get to the back, coming back. So how we use our hands, our arms, our center, our spine, our head to move, to turn around, to activate our legs, to have it closer to us. Yes, here we bend our leg very close, then we expand in a way. We are always playing with the opposites and combining many opposites at the same time as we can. So we are in control of what we have in the mid. Yes. Now we place our hands in the ground. We're going to play with this difference, pushing away from the ground. So if I push the ground away with my elbows, with my forehand, with my hands, with my toes, how can I move in the between these four principal energies, from my center to my arms and to my legs, and also to my spine, to my head, to my pelvis, to my abdomen. So we play here, turning it into one side and to the other side. We're shaking the ground, being able to go to our hands, being able to go to our feet, to release our hands, to activate our back again. Always creating space, always creating support, and playing with the combination of these different possibilities. So now we lay down a little, we bring our sit bones to our heels, we relax our back and our head and our arms, and we breathe in there. And always try to feel the wholeness of your body, the globality of your body. Never lose part of your body. Now we place our toes in the ground. That allows us to rise a little more our pelvis, so we can make the weight of our pelvis to go to our spine, to our chest, to our head, to our hands. Now we go away a little and we play again with this energy of integration. We're using our center and we place the external part of our feet in the ground, also recognizing that energy. Not only the energy of the soils, also the energy of the fore part, the front part of our feet. And then we relax again when we need it. Always breathing, always moving and playing between the different opposites to create space inside, to be able to move softly and to recognize more. And now we create this curved energy trying to connect the front and the back. Here when we expand, the energy gets to our head and to our sit bone and coccyx. And here when we go in, the energy tries to connect from our front part, like our coccyx, to our pubis, to our head. It's the whole spine working. It's not my head and my neck. And also the energy in my arms and my legs are helping my spine, my body, my head and my pelvis to connect in and out. Always thinking a global work. Now we go to one side and we investigate the same idea, and always reach to your hands and to your fingers. Each part of your body is important at every position. So we can rise a little so we get more amplitude for the movement, so we create space. The different positions may be different to move as we feel it, so we can modify them to create space and then get back in and get back out. Every time we change, we are using opposites. So There we go back again to the middle to relax. And each time we go out and then we get in the same we've been before, our body will make some adjustments. So now we rise and we begin to create this little turning and spiral. We try to take our elbow to the ground and we press the ground to in our pelvis up and forward, and we connect all this elastic energy from our hands to our knees to our legs, and then we come back. And all thing the energy connecting your head with your pelvis, and basically we are creating extension on our back, or we are creating contraction and concentration in our front. There we're expanding our back while the front is being elongated, stretched. And when we come back, there we have possibility to keep growing that energy, to keep growing that elastic power, creating that position between hand and leg, and then we come back again in. We relax forward, we replace our energy, we replace our spine, and they are here again. We think that the weight of our hips and our pelvis is going forward to our chest, to our arms, to our head, so we can relax our lower back. So we breathe there. And we always make the breathing to reach all of our cells, all of our body, all of our tissues. Now we rise again and we repeat. We go again to one side. And we see now how do we feel this side, and we begin to do this energy in and out from head and pelvis, and all of our bodies helping us. We are pushing the ground away to expand the energy in and back and up, and we push the ground away to take the energy in and forward. Each joint, each little finger, each little toe is important, each vertebra is important, each breathing is important. It's a work of presence and connection and integration. Never hurry, always take your time to replace, to reaccommodate, to connect, to feel, to breathe, to feel safe, feel secure inside you, and to recognize new information in your body. Keep sending the energy to whole of your body. How we use the ground to push it away to guide the energy in, and also how we push the ground to guide the energy out and up and back and forward. We got back to the middle. We keep doing the same. It's great to get back to the place we've been before after being in other places, so we have new space, new information, new cells activated and move and connected. And we can make our breath go deeper, we can reach more energy to our fingers. There I'm pushing with the tip of my fingers to the ground. We're creating more space. Each energy we create and we send to the ground will react and goes back to our body to a new place. And we begin to push the ground away. We replace our weight and we begin to investigate now with one leg free, and that connection of that energy of that leg with all of its joints and all the space around us, and how that energy also influences in our spine, in our arms and our head. So how we use both of our hands, how we use our head, our spine, our abdomen, our pelvis to investigate that leg in all directions and keep exploring and integrating the different possibilities of balance, of flexibility, of strength, of supports. There we are playing using our head a little with the ground and liberating our hands. We can use these places to find new connections. All the time is about what's new, what's happening, what's present. It's not fixed. We are choosing, we are creating, we are feeling, we are going to these places that we can imagine and we investigate them. What possibilities does my leg have around me, and how do I use my hands, how do I use my head, how I use my spine, how can I relate with the floor, how can I change my supports, how can I turn, be three-dimensional and always be safe and secure. You can do whatever you want as you feel it safe. Also, you can use your head with the ground. That's very important to grow this energy and connection from legs to center to spine to head. And we keep moving around. We can create different circles, and here we begin to replace the energy of our feet and using each of our joints, our hips, our knees, our ankles, our toes, our heels, our spine, and the different levels, the different bending of the different joints, and also the different pushings away from our hands and the different supports in our hands, our elbows, our palms, our hands, the external part of our hands, our fists, our knuckles, our fingers, the tip of our fingers. We can create any connection we want, and also we can stretch in and stretch out and always keep connecting, keep it fluid. All the time we are combining the different opposites that involves our body with our back and our front, our laterals and our turning and spiral capacity each part of our body. Then when we shake the ground with the same energy, we stabilize, and then we play with little differences in the different pushings, so we create these little movements, these little unbalances that we are guiding and protecting. We can also use our knees, we can use our hands to support ourselves and bring our feet closer, and we can move our vertebrae, move our spine, create all many places in between these supports that we are creating all the time. Nothing is fixed, nothing is the same way all the time. So we can activate our back in and out, we can project the floor with the ground with our toes, with our heels, with the palms, with our fingers. We can always bend to create space and relax the tension, and we can always expand to reshake and integrate this energy to our structure. There we can play with these little supports of our hands so we can get our legs free. And now we can place our knees in the ground, we get our hands closer, we begin to investigate the capacity of pushing the ground away. In this pushing the ground away, we push our center to push the ground away, so we can rise our center because we are pushing away the ground from us, but the ground won't go away, so we go away from the ground if we try to make this rise of our body. This is a very powerful exercise. It needs a lot of concentration of energy and using the whole body. We have to organize our legs to our center, we have to organize our hands pushing away, and now we can also play with this little pressure on our hands, finger, palms. While we move, we can massage our spine, our hips, our heels, our seat bones, and then we begin to create more space. And we can play with different supports, for example, activating our center and placing our shoulder close to us. We can place our head, our ear in the ground to help us support. And always to connect these places, we have to press, expand, and turn. Make it feel safe to you. Find your own place where you feel the structure is stable. Don't try to make a shape. Try to create the connection that supports the weight. You can play with that. and never get stressed when you do this. Go find the different places and always keep it soft. There I fall back. It's okay, it can happen, but you have always to keep it safe while you're doing it. You know how to over stress yourself. Always keep it adaptable, keep it mobile, keep it playing inside opposites. That's the key. Good. Now we play again with these opposites, with the leg free, with the mobility of our hip, with the support of our hands, and the opposition between our leg, our spine, our head, and our hands. So we keep creating space and flexibility. Here is a clear position between our fingers and the energy of our leg, and the energy of our spine and head connecting, back and forward, in and out. Always feel it elastic. You can come closer, you can come farther. And again, we can begin to play, and now we can begin to explore and expand our front energy by reshaping the ground with our back to create more arc energy. Here is very, very important not to think that you want to touch the ground, to think that you want to push the ground away with your arms and with your legs, with your feet. Your pelvis wants to go forward and up, your knees want to go forward, your feet want to push the ground and send your knee forward and away. We want to take our energy of our center away from our hands, not to our hands. How to create space there so our hands can stretch and grow, and then create the space to go to the ground. There's a little windy, that is the story of my book. So we replace a little, and now we go to work a little our center and our spine with this idea of massaging our back and always integrating the farther part to the closer part. So when I go back, my legs get roll in. When I go forward, my head and my shoulders roll in. So my body gets integrated when it goes. In the end, we can support the air in our shoulders, and we can relax and breathe to feel that weight falling in our legs, our hips, our knees, our ankles. And breathe there. How do you feel with your shoulders, with your neck? You can go lower, you can go higher, but you always have to be in the middle of the places, playing with opposites. So find your own comfortable position. If you need to go a little lower, you can be lower, but always keep this mobility in all of your joints. That's the key. That's what we're doing here. We are making connection and integration in different three-dimensional positions, but always keeping our connection and synapses. Try to not destroy anything around you if you are in a closed space. When you move your legs around, you can turn them up and down, left and right, bend them, feeling your toes, feeling your heels, feeling your knees, feeling your hips. You can push the ground with your feet, and you can investigate also with one side and the other side, and feel your shoulders, your elbows, your hands that relax. They are available, they are adaptable. This is very good for your shoulders and your spine and your lower back too. So here we begin to lean the weight slowly to one side and the other side. If we are able to bend the knee down to one side and the other, we'll be able then to get out from there rolling. Here we can play with some opposition, elastic extension. Here we can play with this opposition between back and forward. And this is something interesting. Oppositions are just the oppositions of the directions, not of the shape. They don't need to be straight to be opposites. The connection to the structures will be felt, and that's perfect. That's what we need to understand and feel. So here again we go back to this place. We can help with the push of our hand to give us support to roll out. And now the way we went out, we go in very softly, and we go to the other side. Knee, toes, hand, and we rise and roll. So with our shoulder, with our hand, with our knees, we go to the other side. It's a very interesting place to investigate. like going to a roll, but instead of going to a roll, going to the other shoulder and out. And here we can begin again to investigate up and down. Here we roll in with our head, help us with our legs to create balance over our center, sitting. Here we move this forward integration. We make this little ball, we hug our legs with our arms, we breathe there. It's a very good place to integrate the whole conscious and energy of our body, to feel your spine, to feel your legs, to feel that all of your body can be very fit in a very small volume and area, so you can be very aware of it. You can feel a lot how your breathing is going inside. So take your time there. And now we activate again, we grab our feet, we begin to play with this connection between hand and feet, and with the different oppositions we can create here with this diverse elastic movement and places we can generate, and also with the added difficulty of keeping ourselves on balance. It's a very small place of balance between our sit bones and our pubis, so it's very interesting how we use our spine, our head, our back, our hands. All of our body has to help us to be here, and there are very small adjustments that we need to do. Here we can place the sole of our feet together and move both legs at the same time. And again, how do we adjust the energy in the base of our pelvis, inside our hips, to keep us safe and not to fall? And if we fall, we just roll and come back, not stress, always adaptable. There I almost fall, so always keeping in and out, always playing between opposites to keep the middle safe. That's what we are doing here. We are working from inside to outside and using all the opposites at the same time. Now we grab our leg from behind our knees and we rest here again and we breathe, taking our muscles closer to our abdomen, and from there we activate again. We extend our legs and we play with our ankles and toes and feet and heels, and with our spine and head too, and with our hips. So we are not blocked in any place. We can think, breathe, feel and move each part of our body with more or less range, but each part of our body has to be aware. Now we'll shake the ground, so we send our center up. We are pressing the ground away with our legs and our hand. We can release our head back, and here we also have to be able to balance back and forward, maybe left and right, not to be blocked. Good. Now we bring our pelvis close to our hands, then we take our pelvis to our leg. We organize again, we sit, and now we go back slowly, try to put our elbows in the ground, opening our hips, stretching our legs, breathing there. And if you feel it safe, you can softly go back and down and keep breathing there. Letting your front part be open, letting your back part release, relax and breathe. And always be present on your breathing. When you breathe in, all of your cells get energy, get present. When you exhale, you can choose what to relax and what to activate. Here we can raise our arms and begin to play a little between left and right, to massage our back in the ground, to open our hips, keeping it relaxed, and hold it by our arms, safe with our arms. And feeling this relation, this mobility in our pelvis, in our lower back, with the relation with our thorax, our arms, our head. And we can release our legs, we can release our arms, so we create a more active work. Yes, so our abdomen is the one who is guiding, our core is guiding and protecting our spine, our center, and our legs, and we feel this elastic relation between legs and arms. Then we place our legs on the ground and we push the ground to rise our center and feel the connection of our spine and feel each of our vertebrae with its relation with the ground. How can it press the ground to get out, and how can it press the ground to get in again? This is a very good work for gaining mobility and recognizing our spine. And here again, we have to be able to move, to turn to one side, to turn to the other side, without losing the rejection and the pushing away of the ground. So we have to be able to move both of our hands involving us. And this is a very interesting shift. So we use the push away. We place the arm down, we bring the other arm and elbow forward, and we keep turning and pushing the earth away. So we are always holding our energy, rejecting the ground and turning and never dropping it down. It's a very interesting way of getting out of the floor to raise the energy and integrate our body. And here we play again, and now we begin to investigate the energy from our center, our spine, into our head and our hands. So we have to be able to release our hands, to reach our head, and to send from our center the energy to our head, and our head has to be able to push the ground away, turning in and turning out, turning left and right, like a ball that pushes while it's turning. So we use all we need to feel it safe. We don't rush into the action. We feel the energy of our hands, our elbows, our shoulders, our toes, our knees, our hips, our spine, and the pushing away of the head into the ground. That energy that's pushing away has this little spiral energy always, that the head is going in or going out. When we reach that connection, we can bring our legs to our shoulders, to our elbows. And if we keep going the energy that is pushing to the ground away, we can make that energy go up. But it's always keep pushing the ground away. You are not dropping on your head, you are growing and pushing the ground, and the energy grows through your body and can get into your hips, into your knees, into your foot, into your feet. And there you can investigate as you feel it safe, which different possibilities, how we can guide this energy being supported by our head and our hands, growing energy to the ground. So we can go forward, we can go backward, we can bend in, we can split, we can send one up and one down. All the different possibilities that you can think and feel, you can create them. Remember that what we are doing here, we are creating connections, we are creating integration. So the important is to breathe, to be present, to try to move, to create, to integrate. Never let it down, never drop it. Keep it present, keep it alive. We are creating energy, we are creating life to our body and moving it all the time. And always keep breathing and using the reaction from the ground. Always when we breathe in, the energy goes inside us to all of our cells. And when we breathe out, we push the ground away and we send the energy to each part of our body we want, and also we can release the opposites, the part that we don't need to use at that moment. You can stay here as long as you feel safe. And then you can begin again to investigate different possibilities, to open your hips. This is a very interesting place. It's very good for your spine to have the weight going the other way. It's very relaxing for your spine. And there you can very softly go back to the ground, but keep thinking that the energy in your spine is still growing. So when you release the ground, you still grow. You don't drop, you don't crash. And there you can move softly to massage a little, to create space, to liberate all that pressure, but always keep it flowing, keep it growing, keep it breathing, keep it safe. Now we go again to our hands, we come to our feet, and we begin to play with this idea of rejecting the ground so we can release our center and we can replace our feet. So we make these little transitions in the space because we ground our hands and then we release. And now we begin to play also using our head to make these little transitions. So we can release my head, I can go up on one foot, then I can go back and go to my head with expansion and switch to the other leg. This is a very good exercise to work the integration and keep the expansion of the energy to the structure. Yes, push the ground away and keep growing the energy. Never collapse. Always feel the support. With the support, increase the energy until you can release softly the other parts of your body. Never drop them, never abandon, never toss them. Always wait enough until you feel it safe. And now we are going to make a little balance exercise. We root, we push the ground away, and we raise the energy to our head, to our hands, to our hips, to our free leg. Here we don't see my head because the camera wasn't very well placed, but it's okay. The important here is that you have to be able to move your wrist, to move your fingers, to make little spirals and circles in each of your joints. Now we lower our center, we feel the pushing away of our hips, knees, ankles, toes and heels to the ground, and we create this circulation from up to down to the ground and from the ground to our spine, to our head and arms. Keep it breathing, keep it creating space. So this is a circulation, this is not a station. Energy is going to the ground and from the ground is growing up and connecting, combining to support us. And then we organize it to take it to one foot again. We push the ground away from our center. We are a little bended, we are closer to the ground so we can keep pushing away while you're still falling, and we can move each of our joints very softly. Our head is present, our center is sending energy to all of our extremities, to all of our muscles. So we have very, very precise control of what we are doing. Very small changes all the time, but we are all the time breathing and full. Good. And now we begin to close the practice. We just exhale, pushing the ground, and we inhale, involving the energy around us, bringing us in, and then we exhale, pushing the ground and rising the energy to our spine and head. And we breathe in, bringing all the energy around inside us, and then we push the ground, growing the energy into our head. And we close and relax. Thank you very, very much.